This is Spiritual Lifting with V. Let me get your soul swole. Today's topic is structure for overcoming self. And what I mean by a structure for overcoming self is this is about overcoming your own personal ego desires that will not allow you to obtain new life, new outlook, and new energetic input into the world. And I'd like to start by touching on today's subject matter by saying, peace, blessings to everyone around. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Smile today, because it is a beautiful day, as every day is. And thank the Creator, thank you, Creator, for allowing us another opportunity at greatness. Now, reaching on today's subject matter, beginning with just that, structure. A lot of times in this life we live, right? It can get very hectic. Things can get out of order. I don't know about you. I'm OCD about a lot of things. And we can be OCD about so many things. Where we place our stuff. Whether or not our clothes are clean. How clean our surroundings are. Or whether or not, we have a certain order in our life to the things that we do. There are things that are typical things that we want to be structured, right? We want to get up, be on time for work. We want to make sure we get in bed at a proper time so we can be ready to work. And then we also want to make sure that if we're out having fun, right, that there's a great plan involved. So we're just not out there and then nothing gets done, and we don't have any fun, nothing gets accomplished. Well, and definitely our job tasks, and then duties with, our children, and so forth and so on. Just a few examples. But sometimes we don't look at having our spiritual lives, our lives that connect us to the Creator, in a good structure. And so, beginning with, as I always say, beginning the day the same way we end the day. Having this structure to make sure that we do tackle the task of giving thanks and gratitude and appreciation to the Creator first and foremost. Placing this as a discipline and a constant structure component to our life, well, that is basically a fantastic mood setter in order to get you on your way to getting that structure going. Okay, because this reminds us of what we need to be doing, how we need to be doing, and when we need to be doing. But then having a great structure for, we all have ego. We have good ego and bad ego. And that's okay. Because, to be victorious in anything, you have to have a certain amount of confidence. And sometimes the ego does come into play. Because when you allow the good ego to come into play, it gives you that extra boost of confidence. That's that feeling of, you just can't lose. The extra determination. There's no way that you're going to be the best at it. You can handle your spiritual life in the same manner by knowing that you just can't lose with constant putting faith on the Creator and belief on the Creator, which then allows you to believe on yourself deeper. And when we do this, this puts us in a very good position to get our energy vibrating at a much higher level. Because as we know, sometimes when you get that winning feeling, right, and you're winning and it just seems like you can't lose, well, there is a tipping point where you can become imbalanced with the ego, where then the ego just becomes not in a positive projecting manner, but then it turns actually into something that would lead you down a negative path, where it starts to evolve from confidence to arrogance. And that's the one thing that we want to avoid in this life, whether it's our personal life, our love life, our the life that we deal with our family, ourselves, and definitely the life that we're dealing with the Creator. Because the last thing we want to do is go into everything with arrogance, because the arrogance and the negative ego self will allow your structure to fall apart. And the reason this is because once you have this feeling like everyone needs you, or you're the only one, or you're the singular special. We all are singularly special, but I mean that you're the only person in the world that God is gifting. You're the only person in the world that He's talking to or that He's touching. Well, this turns into something else, and this actually can cause you to go ahead and get knocked down by the Creator, because this would lead you to a whole lot of self-centeredness and not listening. And once we start getting into the self-centeredness and not listening, now we start to think that we can do the Creator's job. Now we may start to feel that others have no spiritual knowledge to shed upon us. Then we may start to feel like we don't have to listen to anyone around us. We've done it all ourselves. Well, let me tell you, you didn't put your soul in your physical vessel. The Creator did that. And you didn't birth yourself. The Creator allowed that. So you have to understand that when you are trying to overcome the self, whether that's things in your life that have been defeating you, whether you're dealing, and as always, there are just many basic things, whether you're dealing with addiction, love life, family life, your personal self life, personal development. These are the things that need to be overcome. Overcoming the self so that you can get to the next phase and to a higher plane in existence. It's very important that we're constantly reflecting on ourselves, what we've been creating, what we've been doing, how we've been managing the time in our existence, the time that is within ourselves. How are we doing that? How are we harnessing our personal energy so that we can be shedding the proper light out upon those around us? Because without being able to really do that reflection, take it in, and start to build some kind of organized structure in our existence, and an organized structure with our connection with the Creator, we're going to be up and down. We're going to be up and down. We're going to be here and there. We're going to be sometime. Well, if you're sometimey with the Creator's going to be sometimey with you. Yeah. You're going to be on a winning streak, on a losing streak. On a winning streak, on a losing streak. I don't know about you, but I constantly say this. I want permanence in my life. I want consistency in my life. And I want eternal in my life. And the way to achieve and get that consistency, permanence, eternal, is by giving that consistency, permanency, and eternal to your relationship with the Creator, your relationship with yourself, and by doing this through placing proper structure. It's not an overnight thing, because like anything, it's all trial and error, right? We have to try some things, and then we have to remotivate at some things, right? Because some things are going to work, and some things are not. Some things, they might be good for this month, and then maybe next month they're not the same. So we have to try them out. We have to find what works, and then we have to start going from there and exiting out the things that are not enhancing our lives. Because life is not going to be perfect. Life is not going to be beautiful. And it's not going to be a fun trip learning the structure, because to have structure takes discipline. And to have discipline takes structure. And definitely takes a lot of consistency. And it's like a diet, or it's like working out. You could be going strong for a really long time. You could meet your goals. You could reach all that. And then you get to this certain point, whether that's through your prayers or your meditations, where you get to a certain point and then you feel like, okay, I've done it. I've got my goal. I've made what I'm looking for. And so now I can take time to relax back and just take a little time off. But sometimes in our existence, it doesn't call for taking time off, because it's those laxed moments. It's the riding the wave, which is the exact moment when you open yourself up for that to crash, for doors to start closing on you, because we begin to forget, what are those things that got us to where we're trying to go? What are those things that brought us to the championship? What are those things that have been allowing us to achieve what we want to achieve? Whether that's on a spiritual level, love life level, or personal level. We have to remain open that once we accomplish a goal, once we've gained that structure, once we've put in that commitment, it has to get deeper. And then we have to move ourselves in a much, much deeper manner. Once we've received that connection to the Creator, we must continue to increase that connection to the Creator. Because once these things have happened, you've built that structure, you started overcoming the self, now you can get in there a little bit deeper. And then you can start to make this rock more permanent for yourself. And we want the consistency, we want the permanence, we want that eternal energy, that eternal light shining from us on a constant basis. So we're reflecting that out onto people, and they're reflecting that back onto us. And then every day, whether you have gone through the whole entire day with victory after victory, you will start to begin to realize that even with the things that you may have seemingly not accomplished or not achieved, they are still victories. And the reason why those things would still become victories, because the lesson that you would learn from inside of those things that I'm going to call lessons. Because remember, we don't have failures in life, we just have lessons. We may not have accomplished every single thing at this moment that we want to do, but that does not mean that those things will not be accomplished. It's just that it hasn't been time yet, because we haven't learned everything that we need to have happen and for us to learn in order to get where we want to be. Letting go of your own personal ego. You have to. You have to. If you think that nothing in your life needs fixing, if you think that your spiritual life is perfect, if you think that you do everything right, well then you've been doing it all wrong this entire time. Because everyone always has something they can consistently work on, no matter how great, no matter how deep, no matter how connected they think that they are. But this takes reflection, this takes consistency, this takes self-structure, and this definitely takes letting go of the ego. When we start to build this structure, we will begin to really start being able to reflect and open our hearts and our spirits more. We have to connect constantly with our own personal consciousness. So I'm just going to give a few things before I stop this one today, and I'm just going to review with you. So you want this structure of letting go of the self so you can be higher with yourself. Let's wake every day. Let's just realize how lucky and fortunate we are. Thank the Creator, as always. When we see things that we're doing in our own personal self-behavior, and we get those thoughts where immediately it might not have been correct, or we could fix that, or we should have did it a different way, just stop and then do it a different way. Even if that means going back and something that you potentially know that you may have been wrong about, that you don't want to admit, go back to that person, go back to that thing, and just say, hey, you know what? You have an opportunity to change every moment of your life at every second. And go take that opportunity and do that. Letting go of your ego. There's a lot of things that we don't want to be the bigger person about. And even if others aren't willing to reciprocate, go ahead. Be the bigger person, because the reason behind this is when you take the higher road, you did your part. No, we can't do anything about what others do, but we can always do our part. It's not turning the other cheek. It's moving on and moving past. Another thing, letting go. Every day, just continue to let go of those things that are negative in your life. Those things that put you in a negative positioning. Those things that may not be lifting you up to the highest place that you could be. Because there's plenty of temptation out here. And temptation doesn't just come in the forms of lust and money, but there's emotional temptations. Let them go. Realize when you start letting those things go, how lighter you're going to feel, how much more uplifted, and how much more knowledge that you're going to gain, and realize, wow, I just got myself onto a higher plateau. I don't have to go through these things, and these things don't have to affect me anymore. And always try to be in tune with the universe, because a big part of letting go is connecting with nature. Being outside with these beautiful trees, the beautiful sky, and even if it's raining, sometimes just going and taking a bike ride in the pouring down rain, a walk, and just feeling the water and the wind and the coldness and the warmness of the raindrops. Even if it's cold, going outside and breathing that in. Not allowing yourself to be a captive of your own mind, your own environment, and your own existence. Those are just a few things that you can do. I would like to know from everyone who's listening, what are some things that you may do or that you may need to work on for letting go of the self, so that you can get to a higher level, or what has been helping you get to a higher level? It would be very interesting to find out. And maybe some of you have some great pointers and tips for everyone else that it really might help them out. And I would like to try some of the things that others may have, maybe that I haven't tried before. The point to this, people, is we got to keep working on our conscious. We got to keep looking deeper and deeper to our own conscious state. By doing this, we will be able to achieve that open heart and open spirit on a constant basis. We will be able to have that deep gratitude and appreciation to the Creator, for the Creator, and for all the wonderful things that the Creator has given us for our existence. By connecting with the nature, we have a beautiful opportunity to give some serious deep gratitude and appreciation. Nothing is like this. Existence is beautiful every day, but where do we want to place ourselves? What do we want out of it? I don't have much more on this one today, but I thought this was a great subject matter. And send some correspondence. I always love correspondence. I'm always down to share ideals or chat back and forth. Anybody who's new to the channel, hey, thank you for tuning in and viewing today. As always, I can do a part 2 if there's some deeper or further explanation behind anything that I've been saying or any of my other videos. Let me know. Drop a line. I have no problem with that. If you're new to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you know when I drop a new video. It's generally every Saturday or Sunday, once a week. Plenty of subject matters. And for now, right now, I can just be reached on YouTube. Hey, it's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful day. I thank you all for tuning in. And as always, the children are the future and we are the past. But I think by diving deeper into our consciousness and letting go of ourself, and so we can overcome ourselves. I like that. The children are the future and we are the past. But by diving deeper into our consciousness and overcoming ourselves, we can all be the future. Let's all have a beautiful day. Be in total gratitude and appreciation for every waking second and moment. And even in our rest, let's continue it. Let's raise our energy vibrations and explode into this world so that everyone can start to do the same. It only changes if we change it. This has been Spiritual Lifting with V. Let me get your soul swole. Peace.